My name no longer matters. I was once a servant in the castle of Gilles De Rais. I swept his halls, lit his candles, and turned my eyes away when told. But there was one room I was never meant to enter. The Blue Chamber. No one spoke of it. No one cleaned it. No one dared look at its locked door, except the children. Each week, new ones arrived. Poor, starving, promised food and gold. They giggled as they were led by the hand toward that velvet door, unaware it was the end of their story. I was there the night the screaming stopped. Coffin that night, a thunderstorm rattled the stained glass windows. Lord de Rais had ordered wine, and I, terrified but loyal, brought it to him. He was draped in crimson robes, whispering verses into the fire, naked bones in his lap like they were dolls. He didn't look at me, only said, "Greater than, tonight, I will open a gate." The blue chamber door creaked open by itself. A chill spilled into the hallway like breath from a crypt. I saw the floor, painted with symbols not of this world. And then, the boy. No older than 9, blindfolded, shivering. I didn't mean to look. But I did. Chains, tools, a mirror, but no reflection, only shadows, moving when nothing else did. Giles chanted in a language I still hear in dreams. The boy's sobs turned into music. That's the only way I can describe it. And as the candlelight danced, something stepped out of the wall. Not a man, not a beast. It had his eyes. Drop of blood afterwards. No body was found. No bones. Just a slipper. And Lord de Rais smiled for the first time in weeks. He told me, they thought I couldn't speak. And after that night, they were right. I was 10 when they took me. A kind-looking woman with a cloak offered bread outside the city gates. I followed her to the castle. They bathed me, gave me clothes, even smiled. But no one smiles in that place unless they're hiding something. Candle the whispering walls. They locked me in a room with no windows, only a mirror, tall, gold-framed, and cracked across the middle. I wasn't alone. The other children didn't speak. They just stared at the walls. Because the walls whispered. They said, "Greater than, you're not the first. You won't be the last. But you're the only one awake." Each night, one of us would vanish. The door would open, a shadow would reach in, and silence would follow. I stopped sleeping. I stopped blinking. Crossed swords the monster in the mask. Then he came, Gilles De Rais. But this time, he wore a silver mask, cold and featureless, reflecting only terror. He didn't walk, he glided, as if he was no longer touching the ground. He sat across from me, placed a puppet on the table, stitched from skin and straw, and whispered. "Greater than, speak to me, child, or the puppet will bleed in your place." But I wouldn't, I couldn't. My voice had sunk behind my heart. He grew frustrated. The puppet moved, not by his hand, by itself. Its head turned toward me. And it spoke in my voice. I fainted. X-ray escape. I woke up in the woods. No one knows how. I don't speak anymore. Not because I can't, but because he might still be listening through my voice. They say the blue chamber is gone now. They're wrong. It's still there. Inside me. In the year of our Lord 1439, I was sent by the bishop himself to the chateau of Baron de Rais. Whispers had reached the church, that children vanished, that black smoke rose from the chapel at night, and that no holy man had entered, or returned. I took my Bible, my crucifix, my faith. Only one of those made it back. Synagogue, the chapel with no Christ. The first thing I noticed, the chapel had no cross, no altar, only a circle of ash in the center, and a single candle that never went out. I saw pages scattered, scriptures torn and rewritten in reverse. Psalms turned into spells, names of saints crossed out and replaced with something older. In a corner sat a child's shoe, burnt. Giles greeted me there, barefoot, smiling. He said, "Greater than, even God cannot hear you here." I the hidden basement. He allowed me to bless the halls. But something was wrong with the air. Heavy, watching. When I sprinkled holy water near the dining chamber, the floorboards hissed, and cracked open. I fell through. Below, I found it, a hidden chamber beneath the blue room. Dozens of wax figures stood in a circle, all dressed as monks, their faces twisted in fear. But they weren't statues. They were real, dipped in wax, preserved in pain. In the center lay a book, bound in flesh, written in a language that bled when I touched it. The words read, "Greater than, he who feeds the walls, lives forever. Skull and crossbones the light dies." I tried to flee. I screamed prayers until my throat tore. But the wax monks turned toward me. One opened its mouth and whispered, "Greater than, You came too late, Father. When I awoke days later, I was in my parish, my Bible clutched to my chest. All pages, blank. No one believed me, but I bear witness. I did not bless that house. I buried the last bit of light it ever saw. I am not stone, not wood, not walls. I am what remains when